Okay. Hello. Welcome to my channel. This is going to be our monthly edition. This is actually called Welcome to Conversations with Sherry and Michaelle. So what's happening here is we want to do questions from people about things that's going on in your world, in the universe, whatever you want to talk about, nothing personal, but we want to reach out to the powers to be to get the answers. Or if we just know the answers, we will let you know. But we will connect with our guides and angels, which we always do, to try to get answers to your questions. Now, Shirley's my bestie. I called her Shirley. Sorry, Sherry. Sherry's my bestie, and she will tell you all about her great energy healing. Go, Sherry, go.
Thanks, Michelle. So, I've been an energy healer since probably about 30 years now. And I'm an old soul, and Michelle and I are actually part of the same soul cluster. So, we've always had a connection since we met. So, glad to be here.
Okay. All right. So let's go with your first question, which is my question.
Okay. Yes. So, your question is, how do you feel about when you lose friends when you're on a metaphysical or spiritual path? And that's a great question because it impacts a lot of people at varying degrees. So my personal experience, ever since I was young, I noticed a pattern. It's resonance. People will resonate with your field or they don't, or like it's over time you're no longer a vibrational match. And so people will come in and out of your life because of that for a variety of reasons. It's just with the metaphysical and spiritual fields, sometimes it can go deeper where people go into fear and you have to choose yourself, your authentic self, sometimes over your family or friends. And that's really hard. You have to have healthy boundaries, and you have to not take it personally for your own well-being, but my experience is as I be when I started doing healing work, I'm like a reflection for people, and that can stir up their shadow side, and they're not always ready for that. So that can be hard, so I'm definitely a mirror, and sometimes that can be a wonderful thing. Not that we like negative experiences, I don't judge them as being negative or positive, but as we typically view negative experiences, it can definitely be difficult for people to uh, be around me sometimes, and I just have to not take it personally and be who I am, be true to myself. But I do trigger people, their shadows, and they sometimes don't like it. So it's not a pleasant experience for them. I'm giving them an opportunity to work on something, and they don't always choose to work on that, and that's okay. That's their choice. So, but I think with people just believing something different, you see a lot of people with that are very religious, and then one of the family members starts to back away from the church and follow a metaphysical path, and the family can go into fear, and that's a hard thing. And people just have to find a way through it, and sometimes that means saying goodbye to their family, for even for a time, a bit of time. Have you had experiences with that, Michelle?
I have had experiences with that, and it's the thing about when you feel like you're metaphysical and you just open up and you get these things from the universe. I myself had some fear because there was a time where I asked spirit to take it away, and then all of a sudden it just kind of came over me, where to the point where it was like I needed to accept it. And so, like, my ex-husband could not take like angels or spirits or anything like that, which is a big reason, he didn't understand that. I came from a bunch of ministers and Baptists and Methodist church. So, that's a whole new park. And I used to talk to a minister at my dad's church a lot. And she said, "Oh, you've got a lot of stuff and you can really do all of these things. You're just on the wrong side." I feel when it comes to uh mediumship and being with friends or spiritualists and all of those other things, we all believe in the same thing, because if you believe in God and you can't touch and see him, that's what metaphysical is, believing in the spirit, and they don't see him or they don't touch him. So I have had that where, I've lost friends or people pretend to be around me. And another thing is when you open up and you accept it, you want to tell everybody. Like, you really want to explain this thing that's happening with you. And so, and people kind of talk to you and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." But then they kind of go off and then at the end, label you as crazy or whatever else that it can.
Woo woo.
That's what I said, the woo woo club.
Fun term.
It's the woo woo club. We're in the woo woo club, so we kind of got that going on.
Well, yeah, it's important, that we have healthy boundaries with that stuff and not take it personally. But I find I try to, when I want to talk about something that's more spiritual, metaphysical, I'll try to find a way like common ground. Something where I can meet them where they are. It's like kind of know your audience. And say something like reframe it in a way that they would understand, you know, not necessarily the words I would normally use, but just to kind of find a way that to spark possibility within them, plant seeds without
Okay.
pushing, without preaching. So that I find that that helps. And most importantly, I try to be mindful not to say something that's going to trigger their defense system, their defense mechanisms, their fear. Because I noticed with some people that uh, they find just the word chakra, they respond like it's the devil's work. And that was surprising to me. So, especially because Jesus, the one I know as Yeshua, he studied chakras and all of that. He studied in India. He studied the, Egyptian initiations and all over. He studied with the
Buddhism. Yeah.
Celtic, yeah, Celts and Druids. He studied all over, all wisdom, and
Well,
so but Christianity doesn't teach that. So I guess, what
well,
are
he
you
was
gonna do?
this. He's actually the second medium that we know of. I mean, because I think Moses was the first splitting of the Red Sea. So that's written in the Bible. The things that
Right.
Jesus did, because they talk about his healings, but they don't talk about everything that Jesus did during his lifetime on earth, and especially not talking about the days after he crossed over and those days of when he did a lot of his teaching. And that was including teaching channeling. Um, and that was the 40 days that he worked with the apostles and other people too, because he appeared to other people. And that's a story I can talk about a little bit later on. That's my cat. Sorry. She's always here whenever I'm doing some work.
Sounds good. So,
Okay.
okay, so all right, so was there anything else you want to talk about on that? Have you had any
No,
experiences with losing friends
well, I lost
or
an
family?
ex-husband.
Oh, just the ex-husband. I don't know. I kind of feel like that was meant to be.
I have
But
lost some friends, or people will talk to me, but I've recently had a friend that talked to me, and then didn't talk to me. So it happens all the time, and it's just because either they're not willing to grow mentally, and I can't really
Mhm.
say that. It's just that the Bible has a certain interpretation to them and they live by that. So me, uh, uh, not really living by the principles or the interpretations of the Bible makes me different. And it might not just be fear. It just could be being different, you know.
Yeah,
So
you have to honor your authentic self. Absolutely. Yeah, my partner doesn't believe in God or angels or anything, and but he knows I do, so he just doesn't want to really talk about it, and that's okay. So, but then he was going fishing, and he wasn't catching any fish. So he asked for me to ask the angels to help him catch some fish. He started catching fish. And then the next time, not catching any fish, he asked me to have the angels help him. So I asked the angels to help him. Caught the biggest fish he ever caught. So then he wanted me to do it again. I was like, no, we've already proven the angels will help you. You have to ask yourself. It's
I'm
time.
I'm going to the casino on Friday on the 3rd of July. So could you send them? Like, I'll do the slot machines. I don't do any more than the slot machines, but yeah, really send them my way. I hear if you pray over the machine, it kind of works, you know? So we can, sorry.
So uh the is it Archangel Sandalphon is the
Okay.
angel of abundance. So you want to
All
call him
right.
that.
You hear that,
Funny
right?
funny story. I had he started working with me, and right after I got this mystery delivery of food. So this
Oh, okay.
it was like one of those prepared meal companies
Hmm.
that a whole week's worth of food just shows up at my door, and the man's like, it's already paid for. I was like, but I didn't order it. It's like, just keep it. It's already paid for. And I didn't feel right keeping it. So there was a phone number. So we tried calling the phone number. It was disconnected, but it came up at Los Angeles. Los Angeles is the city of angels. I was like,
Wow.
Sandalphon, did you have something to do with that?
Well, that the funny thing is while you're talking about that, and I know we have other questions, so I'm going to make this short. I've been finding coins all over my house, and I was at work, and I was talking about me finding coins. I know if I find a penny, heads up, that it's from my mother because my mother always said the little thing, find the penny, heads up. So I could see that, but I've been finding quarters and foreign money, and I know I don't like I use my ATM card most of the time or I have dollars, but I always keep that in change. But I've been finding pennies and I have a piano and I had two pennies on there and I walked by it the other day and it had three. So I don't know where this third penny came from, but
Hmm.
it's been like I'll go in the bathroom and I'll find like a quarter on the counter, and I don't mean to be greedy by asking them could they at least send me a couple $50 bills.
That you just say like an affirmation. I welcome abundance from all sources. I would
I
say
do.
the most important thing is to not limit the abundance. The
Oh,
flow of abundance. Don't say like like just say want it from the lottery or from gambling. Just welcome it from all sources and allow it to show up.
okay, that's something. Yeah. Oh, I've been welcoming the money.
Hmm.
I just it was just all of a sudden, and it's yeah.
Yeah.
So I said I know the realm is sending that to me. So huh, that's good there. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to try to get Kara's question. Okay, so Kara's question is about ancestral memory. Seems to be coming up for her right now. She's working on a project which turns our traditional carnival characters and universal diaspora specific archetypes for healing. She's also fascinated with and plan to work with the Adinkra symbols, and she wants some insight on some of the characters and if this project has any real value and how to connect with the ancestors. Okay, so I recommended the book Opening to Channel to help her work, work with them directly. And the thing is, she intended it for she consciously intended her question to be two separate questions. Well, really three separate questions, but it's actually all connect. It all weaves together. So what I get is she was wanting to work with the archetypes and then ask about the African symbols, but I believe she's meant to weave them together, not just as two separate things. So my answer is, she wants to know if there's value in it. Absolutely, there is value in it. In general, when you feel really inspired about something, like, passionate about something, follow your heart. If you can do it, because it's going to bring you joy. It's going to help your own growth, which is why we're all here, for our own growth.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe it's going to be very healing for herself and the ancestors and the present and going forward. It's going to there's going to be a lot of healing happening with that. I get that she has a past life connection. She may have been a griot herself. She's definitely, I get that storyteller vibe, with a past life, weaving things together. And what else? I made some notes here. I did have like a channeled message that I got from one of the archetypes, the Midnight Runner. These are Caribbean island um, carnival characters. I never heard of them. This is all new to me, but I did get that she's in past lives a truth teller, a weaver of traditions. She's carried many lifetimes. Across many lifetimes, reactivation of an ancient soul thread is what she's actually inspired to do right now. So it's kind of a continuation of work she's maybe done in a past life. So that's what I was getting, and the value. It's she's helping to restore a coherent energetic map for people to reclaim their power, for shadow integration, and resilience and joy. So there's value in that, absolutely. But I think this is going to be an amazing personal journey for her, and deep deeply inspired projects like this are they're often fulfilling a soul contract. I think when you come in, you have contracts, plans, just like a plan, an agreement that you want to work on something you've decided you want to work on before you incarnated. And I believe that this is for her. So do you have anything to share on that?
Okay, so the one thing that I do have is it is with the past life. So I do have that she has the symbols, but I'm thinking back, and I kind of like don't like to do any questions from memory, so I kind of cut off what I was doing. So for some reason, I see that her training and stuff during that time was abruptly ended very, very quickly. And that's limiting her from actually bringing in these symbols because she has them. So she has to work on that blockage that she has from when she was limited. I do remember when I saw it at that time that she was the leader of the pack that was there, kind of sold his soul. So the tribe was then distinguished and spread out, and they weren't able to they were taught not to work on anything that they previously worked on during that time. So that's why I say it's a blockage that's going on in there, because if in that lifetime you're limited, sometimes when you come through here, that limits you. She can work on that with past life regression or even with meditation. to kind of work with the spirits to, her guides and all that. Um, she does have several around her that kind of work with her, and I do see them talking to her. However, I see her just like I said, this side's going in, that side, it's all going out. But she has all of that information. It's just a matter of remembering, and it's also connecting to the souls during that time because she never finished. She never finished learning all of the symbols, and they're very powerful for healing. Very, very powerful for healing, and not only on people, but also on the earth, especially during this time. So bringing that into the realm, and also that's going to come in and help elevate a lot of people into the golden age. So I highly recommend that she try to get that, although we can't get the symbols for her. At some point, I may be able to try. I just have my own projects right now. And Sherry, you're good at that. So but yeah, through meditation, past life regression, I feel like they're going to come back to her, but just stop the blockage. She might just need a healing to stop all the blockages from the past life, because that was kind of it just really wasn't good. So I don't want to delve on that anymore. But that's
Okay, great. That's
okay.
awesome.
All
So,
right then.
okay,
So
the last question that I had was about Glenda. Her daughter was wondering if we received any information. She Glenda disappeared 11 years ago. They found her car, but didn't find her. And they're hoping for some kind of answers. They've been asking the police recently to, keep trying to get them answers. My heart goes out to them, to her family. I know it's so hard losing a parent, losing a loved one, but to not have that closure makes it that much harder. And our hope is that they can heal and make peace with it, and live their lives to their fullest, because that's what our loved ones really just want for us, is to enjoy our lives as much as possible. And I know that can be hard when you don't have closure.
so I find that this was someone that she knew. I don't find that her purse and her keys, I really don't do investigations, but I do see that this was something that happened at night. I do see that this lady is buried somewhere, so she is no longer alive. I do find her, I find her in the woods. I also find that she's reaching out and talking, because as I tap into the energy, um, I find that she was struggling, like trying to get out and get away. Um, I'm not going to say what I hear that she's saying, but I can find out that she's reaching out and she's trying to connect. And I find her maybe in the woods near water or something like that. But that was someone that she knew, because she would not have walked off with anyone that she didn't know. And she went to the spot to meet someone. So that was it. She was meeting with someone, trying to help the family members. But that's about all that I get. I would have to spend more time with it. I wish I had a bought my drawing pad, because I think I could have come up with something a little bit better. But if I do, I will let you know. So I'm
Okay,
not
how
sure
are
what
we doing on time? Mhm.
we're. Oh, so we are out of time.
We are out of time. Okay, that goes
Where
fast.
that was fast, and that was just three questions. So hopefully next time maybe we can get a couple
Mhm.
more questions in for you all. And we thank you for joining us. If you like more content like this, next time for next month, I will post that conversations with Sherry and Michelle will be available. And even if you like my channel, please like and subscribe. We're trying to build customers here. And Sherry, you have the floor before we close out here.
I just want to thank everybody, and hopefully we'll see you again next month.